the Rambler Network.
When we dig up the first of history, the signal is often weak. The oldest music ever recorded for playback is nearly impossible to hear, but its significance is deafening. It's the first scratch in time, the mark that lets us find all the others that followed. But sometimes, what we think is the first isn't after all. This is the Digressor Firsts. Before The Bachelor, Big Brother, and Keeping Up with the Kardashians turned private lives into public brands, there was Survivor. When Survivor premiered in the summer of 2000, it changed television forever. It was raw, unpredictable, and thrilling. Strangers trapped on an island, scheming, starving, competing for $1 million. The show blurred the line between game show and social experiment, between documentary and drama. It launched a wave of copycats that dominated early 2000s TV, and it cemented the term reality television into pop culture vocabulary. It felt new, revolutionary, and the first of its kind. However, it was not the first. Because nearly 30 years earlier, before anyone was eating bugs on camera or handing out roses under studio lighting, America met a different kind of reality show. One that didn't involve challenges or eliminations. One that didn't need a tropical island or prize money. It only needed a camera and a family. In 1973, PBS aired a series called An American Family. It followed the Louds, Bill, Pat, and their 5 children, in their everyday lives in Santa Barbara, California. No script, no actors, just the quiet, unfiltered reality of suburban life. Over 7 months in 1971, filmmakers Alan and Susan Raymond captured more than 300 hours of footage, which were later edited into a 12-part series. The concept was simple, yet groundbreaking. What happens when you film a real family day after day and show the public everything? The results shocked the country. Viewers saw arguments, secrets, and moments of tenderness that felt too intimate for television. They saw a marriage fall apart on camera, the first divorce ever televised in a documentary. They saw the eldest son, Lance Loud, openly identify as gay, making him one of the first openly gay figures in American TV history. Some people called it revolutionary, others called it exploitative. The Loud family became instant celebrities, or perhaps more accurately, infamous. Talk show appearances, magazine covers, interviews, and constant judgment. Some saw them as brave for letting the world in. Others saw them as proof that America's ideal family was just a myth. In the years that followed, An American Family was both celebrated and condemned. Critics hailed it as art. Moralists decried it as voyeurism. But whether people loved it or hated it, they couldn't look away. Sound familiar? Its DNA runs through everything that came after. The Real World, Survivor, The Osbournes, The Kardashians, Catfish. Every confessional, every camera lingering on an awkward silence, every blurred boundary between real and performative. All of it traces back to those 12 episodes on PBS in 1973. The Louds weren't competing for anything. They weren't stranded or isolated. They were just living. And for the first time, the world was watching. So while Survivor may have launched the modern reality TV phenomenon, and The Real World may have refined it for a new generation, the first reality show didn't begin on an island. It began in a home, with a family called the Louds, and a nation that realized truth can be just as captivating as fiction. However, that also wasn't quite the first. In 1964, almost a decade earlier, the BBC aired a documentary called 7 Up, following a group of British schoolchildren from different social classes, intending to revisit them every 7 years. What began as a one-off special became one of the longest-running documentary series in history, spanning over 50 years, the most recent being 63 Up in 2019. So depending on how you define reality television, the title of First might belong to An American Family or to 7 Up. But either way, before the producers and the confessionals, even before this tribe has spoken, someone pointed a camera at ordinary people and decided this was entertainment. And that decision changed television forever. But I digress.
The Rambler Network.